Okay, in this session, we'll work on print layouts. Print layouts or print forms, we can also call print forms. So there are different print forms or print layouts available in SAP. There are SAP Scripts, SMARTFORMS, and Adobe Forms. These three are the print layouts available. Script is a bit older, and later SAP introduced the SMARTFORMs. And the most recent, maybe that's also Adobe Forms. We are widely using in all the new S4 HANA projects. So Adobe Forms, nothing but it will generate the PDF output, directly generate the PDF output, the file, the print layout in the PDF form. But rest of the outputs like SAP Scripts or Smart Forms, it won't directly generate the PDF output. We have to convert into PDF. First, we'll discuss what is a print layout.
Yes.
Can you tell me an example for print layouts? I can tell you your graduation provisional certificate, right? It is one example for a print layout, right?
Yes, sir.
In your provisional certificate, so the data is organized, right? So there is a logo, university logo at specific place, right? For example, here at the
Photo.
right uppermost corner with some logo, and here your marks memo,
Yes.
subjects, subject wise score, and the percentage,
Terrain.
right? In a tabular format,
Yes, sir.
right? And here your details like your name, your roll number, year of pass,
DOB.
grade,
Yes, sir.
etc. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Here some other details like address or anything. Okay. Some details are organized here, and at the end some text about terms and conditions or guidelines. Some text will be printed here along with some seal, right? Signature, there is a
Yes, sir.
box for signature, right? Here somewhere here there is a box for principal signature, right? So this is organized, right? So we are someone
Yes, sir.
designed that layout. Someone designed that layout with some specific requirement where they wanted to display the logo in the output, where they want to display the student details, and where they want to display the subject wise marks, where they want to display the terms and conditions, right? So that details will be printed at specific position, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
For that designing is required. Someone has to design that layout. What is the size, what is the height, what is the width of the provisional certificate, right? So if you observe, your provisional certificate measures will be different from your semester wise mark sheets, right?
Yes, sir.
So we have to design that layout, how we want to print that data. So is it a A4 sheet, is it a A3 sheet, and what is the size of the logo, what is the size of the table, everything we have to design, right? So this is one example. Tell me one more example for print layout.
Designing some business cards like ATM cards.
Function.
ATM card may not be a print layout. Can you tell me when you have ordered something in online like Amazon or Flipkart or any other e-commerce uh, application, when you receive the product, what can you see on the package?
Details of the product
There
and
is
where it
some
is
there is some
coming.
uh, there is some sticker or paper attached to that
Yes,
package,
sir.
right?
Yes, sir.
With details
Yes, sir.
like the seller details and the
Shipping address.
item details. What is the product you purchased, right?
Yes, sir.
What is the
Sir.
quantity of the product,
Quantity.
name of the product,
Yes, sir.
right? And some terms and conditions. Is it
Yes,
like,
sir.
are they going to accept the returns or not, right? What are the terms and conditions for returns and replacements, right?
Yes, sir.
Like that, how they are able to print that? First, they have to design that layout with specific measurements so that they can print the data, right? And they can use it
Mm.
as some sticker to attach to that product, right? We call them as labels. Labels, right?
Yes, sir.
So you can observe the labels even when you purchase some clothes. There will be a label attached to it, right?
Yes, sir.
With some barcode, product
Yes,
details,
sir.
Yes, sir.
price, right? Discount. So we can
Yes, sir.
design
Small.
labels in these print layouts also. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Also, we can design any sales orders, purchase orders, billing documents, invoice, right? For example, employee offer letters, employee pay slips, employee termination letters, right? All these kind of print layouts. When you click on print in SAP, it will generate a print output, right? That print layout we are going to generate or we are going to design in Adobe Forms, Smart Forms, or in SAP Scripts. Okay, clear? So what is the print layout? Is everyone clear on that?
Sir.
So whatever the print output we need, we are going to design in this print forms. Okay, we have different techniques available to design the print layouts. So first one is Scripts, Smart Forms, and Adobe Forms. The advanced one is Adobe Forms. Okay,
Yes,
comparatively,
sir.
we have more advanced features in Adobe Forms. Also, it will directly generate the PDF output,
PDF form.
right?
Yes,
But
sir.
the rest of the two, we have to convert them into PDF externally. Smart Forms are scripts. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So, how we are going to print? How we are going to print these print layouts, or how we are going to generate the output, print output? For example, if you go to some transaction code VL03N, it is for delivery, outbound delivery. If you want to print a delivery output, looks like no data available here. Let me go to VA02. Why no data is there? Use some sample sales order here. So this is the sales order, right? This is the sales order transaction code with the data. Sales order number, sold to party, right? Net value, address of the customer, right?
So,
What are the other details? Requested delivery date. This is the requested delivery date, total weight. These details we have. When we need to take a printout, a printable output, right? So the sales order data should be displayed in one particular layout, or the print layout should be in a selected form. There should be a company logo, there should be the sales order header details, and there should be sales order item details, right? We can configure it in the standard transaction code, right? We can configure these things in the standard transaction code, or we can create custom program to generate the print output. Okay,
custom.
we need to create custom program to
Okay,
trigger that
sir.
output, print output, or to print the form,
Okay,
right?
sir.
So this is the standard one. So SAP has provided a lot of standard print layouts, ready to use print layouts. You don't need to do anything, you can configure and start printing, right?
Okay, sir.
But
Yes, sir.
in some cases those standard print layouts are not suitable. Then we need to extend that print layout. Extend means enhance the print layout. How to enhance the standard one? Usually, if it is a program, what we do? We do enhancements, right? Using customer exits or baddies.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
But to enhance the print layout, what we do? We copy that standard layout into custom layout. Okay? We copy
Sir.
that standard print layout into custom print layout, and we do the changes. When you converted it to custom one, you can directly do the changes, right? Because it won't allow you to
Yes.
change the standard objects. But when you copy it into a custom object, you can do your changes. Okay? And that custom print layout will be replaced with the standard layout in the configuration. Okay, when you need to enhance the standard print layout, this is what we need to do. Okay,
Yes, sir.
let's say the standard print layout is not supporting our requirement, it is not suitable, even 50%. Then what we do? We create our own print layouts, right?
Yes, sir.
That might be SAP script, that might be SAP script, SmartForm, or Adobe Form. We choose, depends on the requirement, but mostly in recent S4HANA projects, everyone is preferring to create Adobe Forms. If it is a new form, if it is a custom form,
Uniform.
if it is a custom print layout, so
Yes, sir.
it is always recommended to go for Adobe Forms because it is very convenient to create and very flexible. And these are interactive also. So we have advanced feature than SAP scripts and smart forms. But
Yes,
if there is a
sir.
standard form which we need to enhance with few additional details, so we can copy
To
that
copy.
existing SAP script or smart form into custom SAP script
Yes,
or
sir.
custom smart form. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So all the, for example, if you take VA02, so this VA02 transaction code is there from the past 20-30 years maybe in the SAP system, right? For printing the sales order data, there might be a SAP script. For purchase order also, there might be a SAP script because it is configured years ago, but over the years, right, when the systems are upgrading, so we are converting them into smart forms or Adobe Forms, right? Sometimes you might be able to find SAP scripts also as print layouts in the existing system. Okay, so mostly in every project where they are converting all the scripts or smart forms into Adobe Forms slowly, or at least into smart forms. Okay,
Okay, sir.
to create custom print layout, So you can choose the best possible approach, right? Smart Forms or Adobe
Yes.
Forms. Anyway, no one is creating scripts, a new script for custom requirements in these days. Okay,
Yes, sir.
no one is using SAP scripts,
Only smartphones and
either
Adobe.
Smart Forms or Adobe Forms.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
This is the standard transaction code. To take printout, somewhere here we have output, output, header, print preview. No output has been selected for printing. 1 second. There may not be any configuration created for this. Let me check the billing document if you have any
Yes.
configuration available here. Let me check the PO purchase order if I can generate some output print. So here we need to select the output type. Output type are different. We have different output types, that is print, email, right? Output can be anything, print, email, or this is print output. Okay.
Yes,
So
sir.
there should be some Adobe form or smart form configured for this print output in NACE transaction code. Where we configure the print outputs for standard applications?
And ACE.
In NACE transaction code, we configure it as output type. Okay. Save. So I'm taking some local printer, print immediately. Save it. Let me go to SP02. SP02 is the spool, right? Where whenever you print something in SAP system, right? Where you can check that?
P0 to
Yesterday I showed
spool.
you in SP02 spool
Yes, sir.
requests, right? So
Yes,
this is
sir.
the spool that is generated. Double click. What is this?
Chaser.
This is a purchase order print
Yes,
layout,
sir.
right?
Yes, sir.
Here we have
Company
company
name.
address, purchase order details, vendor number,
Yes, sir. Delivery
delivery
address.
details, delivery date, and purchase order data.
Yes,
Purchase
sir.
order number, item, material number,
Mm,
unit, description, price per unit, net value, right? So it seems it's a script. SAP script is configured for this. It's
okay.
very basic print layout, right? Which is generated in the, which is designed in the scripts. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So like this, we're going to create print layouts using scripts, smart forms, or Adobe Forms. So that is the print layout. Printable output. As of now, we are displaying the output in ALV reports, and we are preparing the output and creating a file. right? And what else we did? Yeah, these are two
We did.
outputs we observed. Displaying the output in ALV format, sending the output data to third-party systems
Storage.
using file
So,
interfaces,
application.
right? So now we need to understand how to create print layouts to display the output, or like output in the printable format, right? So we need to
Yes,
select the
sir.
data from different tables, and we need to print the data in the print layout, right?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
So first observe about scripts. So what is that transaction code for SAP scripts? SC71.
SC71.
SC71 is the
One.
transaction code for SAP scripts.
Yes, sir.
Here we create SAP scripts. Okay, but I'm not going to explain about this, but I'll provide you some basic details. Okay, it's not at all required.
Yes, sir.
In SC71 we are going to create SAP scripts, and it is a client dependent. SAP scripts are client
Client
dependent,
dependent.
Time dependent.
right? What do you mean by client dependent?
The server that with
In which client
the
we are in now?
pan
Currently, in which client we are in?
800.
800 use
800, right?
800, yes, sir.
For example, if you go to SC71 and let me find any existing SAP scripts with some custom names. We're all having standard forms. Let me find it in sales and distribution, billing document. There is an invoice form. So let's say it is the invoice form. Okay, it is the invoice SAP script. Let's say if I did any changes to this SAP script, what is a unit test client is different, right? For unit testing, usually we used to have a different unit testing client. So we do development in one client and do unit testing in other clients. So what do you mean by client dependency? So when we do changes in one client for the same SAP script, those changes will not be automatically applied to other client. System is same. System is same. It's a development system. But when you did changes in one client, those changes will not be automatically applied to the other
Other
system,
system. Another clients.
right?
Yes,
You
sir.
could copy, for example, you do some changes in development client, and when you go to test that print layout in unit testing client, you cannot observe those changes automatically. For that, what you need to do? You need to do client copy using transaction code SCC1.
Sir.
Okay, please observe this client copy where whatever the client dependent objects, whatever the client dependent data we have, that data is not going to be available in the all clients automatically. You have to copy that data manually to all the clients. Okay,
Yes, sir.
so what is the transaction code you need to use?
SCC1.
What is it?
SCC1.
Not SCCC1, SCC1.
SCC1, sir.
Okay,
Okay, sir.
yeah.
Double
So
C.
what is the prerequisite to execute SCC1? We need a transport request. That object should be attached to a transport request in development client. Okay,
Yes, sir.
the script or any client dependent objects should be added to a transport request to copy it to the other client. Then log in to the client where you need to apply these changes and execute SCC1 transaction code. For SCC1 transaction code, what is the input?
Transport
Transport
Transport.
request.
request. Enter the transport request and execute. So whatever the changes performed in the development client or any other client will be automatically copied to the target client where you are executing SCC1. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So like there are some custom system configurations. They are client dependent. They are not going to be automatically copied to all clients. System configurations, SAP scripts. We have standard text. Standard text is nothing but reusable text. The transaction code is SO10. So that is also client dependent. Those all will not be automatically copied to all the clients, right? Because they are client dependent. We have to use SCC1. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So in scripts, we have a window called main window. What is a main window? Main window is nothing but if you want to expand the data automatically to the next page. For example, you are printing one paragraph in first page. If first page is not enough to print that complete paragraph, it should automatically expand to second page.
Yes.
The rest of the details, right? For such kind of requirements, what is the window we need to use? Main window.
In
Other windows cannot automatically expand. They are fixed width. Okay? But main windows can repeat for all the pages.
yes,
So in
sir.
scripts, how many main windows we can use?
99.
Up to
99.
99. And main window is required in SAP scripts. You cannot create a script without
Main window.
main window, right?
Yes,
So
sir.
once your designing
Yes.
is completed, how to call SAP script? To call the SAP script in your program, what you need to use? Function modules, three function modules: open form, write form,
Right form, close
close form.
form.
These three function modules need to be used to trigger or print the SAP script from your program. The program, what we call that program? We call that program as driver program, which we
Yes,
use to
sir.
print the print layouts like script, smart forms, or Adobe Forms. What do we call that program?
Driver
Driver
program.
program. Nothing but SC38 program. Don't confuse.
Yes, sir.
It is just a SC38 program, report program. But we are going to call print layout inside that program instead of some ALV output. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So that one we call as driver
Driver
program.
program.
Please remember these details. Script is client dependent, right? And the other
Client
difference is
dependence.
in scripts we cannot print any color text. We cannot print any colored text, and we don't have table formats, right? We don't have table display in SAP scripts. If you observe here,
Yes, sir.
if you observe this purchase order, go to SP02 where we issued the output. So it is not tabular display. There are some lines. That's it.
Yes, sir.
It's not the tabular display, right?
Yes,
Yes,
They have
sir.
used some straight lines to make it as a tabular format, right? But it's not the actual tabular format, right? Because it's a script.
sir.
So we cannot print tabular data in SAP scripts. Also, it is not
There is
possible to
a
print background images in SAP scripts. Some watermark kind of images. It is
yes,
not
sir.
possible to print in SAP scripts. Okay. Okay. Please remember about SCC1 to make the client copy. Whatever the client dependent objects in SAP, we have to copy using SCCO.
through SSU,
The
SCCU.
prerequisite is we need to add that in the
Transport
transport
request.
request. Next, observe the smart forms. Smart forms are advanced than SAP scripts. Okay, so because smart forms are client independent. The first difference between SAP script and smart forms, script is client
Client
dependent.
uniform.
Smart forms and Adobe
Yes, sir.
forms are client independent. So that when you do the changes in one client, the same changes will be automatically applied to all the clients of
Other
the system.
system.
Uh,
Yes, sir.
you have to be very clear about the client and the system, right? So when we do the changes in development system, these changes will not be automatically applied to test system. Please observe that because both are different servers, development server and test server, right? When we talk about the clients, clients are part of the same server, right? In development server, we have client 1, client 2, client 3, like that, right? So smart forms are client independent. When you do the changes in one client, the same changes will be applied to all the clients. You don't need to do any client copy. Okay. And also in smart forms, we have user friendly graphical screen available to design the layouts like by using drag and drop. Okay. Clear? And the other difference between
Yes.
script and smart form is in smart form we can print background images.
Table form.
Background images, yeah, you are right. Tables also we can print.
Yes,
Data in the
sir.
tabular format with some header and the columns, right?
Sir.
We can print the colored text in smart forms. Okay.
Yes, sir.
How to call smart form? One way of doing it is to print, to make it, to trigger the smart form. There are two approaches. If it is a standard application, for example, VA02, VA03, sorry, VA02 or ME22N, these are standard applications, right? To trigger the smart form or Adobe form from the standard applications, when you generate the output just like this, just like how I did here, right? Where you need to configure these forms. If you want to print these print layouts from the standard transaction codes, right? If you want to configure it to the standard applications, where you need to configure these forms, these print layouts in NICE transaction code, in NACE
Yes,
transaction
sir.
code as output type. Okay. But when
Okay,
we need a
sir.
custom application, we are going to create a driver program nothing but SC38 program to
Wait.
trigger that print layout. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Clear? How to call smart form in a driver program? If it is a custom driver program, how to call the smart form? Please remember, whenever you create a smart form or Adobe form, it will automatically generate one function module. Okay, let me show you. The transaction code for smart forms are
SmartForms.
smart forms. Smart forms is the smart
Key
F,
code for smartphone.
right? So this is the transaction code to create the smart forms. Smart forms is the transaction code. Let me display one sample. Yeah, let's select one sample smart form. Just want to display how, like, it is a custom smart form. Someone created it already. So when you create a smart form, right, it will automatically generate function modules.
Function module.
So this is the function module that is generated for this smart form, right? Let's execute this function module. Let me execute this function module. You select the output device as LP01. LP01 nothing but some local printer. To print the print layout, we need a printer, right?
Sir.
So this is the local printer available. Usually we used to configure that printer configuration. Someone from basis admins team will configure these printer configurations, right? LP01 is some virtual local printer. So you can take either print using this or print preview. Using print preview will just display the print layout. Okay, it won't actually print the output. So there is some error. Uh, there is some error in the smart form. That's why it did not print. Let me take another. So every function module will generate one function module. Sorry, yeah.
Yes.
If you observe this, someone designed this smart form, right? What does it
Yes.
contains? A logo,
Company.
company details, employee data, and some terms and conditions like this, right?
Yes, sir.
Sir.
For example, if I click on print, where can I check this? Instead of print preview, if I print it, where can I check this?
You.
Where can I check the print output? Spool, right? SP02.
SP02. Yes, sir.
All the print outputs will be in SP02. Okay. We can also call it as spool. This one, right?
Yes. All printouts
Yeah.
will be there in SP.
Yeah.
Yes,
All
sir.
print outputs will be automatically logged into SP02 list of
Okay,
spool
sir.
device, right? You can also print again from here. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So SP02 is the transaction code. So like this, every smart form or Adobe form also generate one function module. It is auto generated function module with some sequence number, right? So to call the smart form in our program, what we need to do? We need to call that function module in program. Okay,
Okay, sir.
clear? We need to
Got it,
call that
sir.
program function module, smart form function
In
module or
the
Adobe function module in our program.
program.
But can we directly call that function module? No.
Mm.
It will work in
Yes.
the development system. When you directly call that function module, for example, to call this employee form, what is the function module? Execute. This is the function module. We can directly call this function module in our program to generate the print output,
Printout.
but it is not recommended
Okay,
because
sir.
when you transport the smart form to test system, what will happen there? It will automatically generate a function module in test system also, right?
Oh,
But
yes.
here it is generated some function module name in some sequence number, right? Using some serial number, right? In development
Yes,
system.
sir.
But when you released this smart form to the test system, it will generate a different name as per the names available in test system, right? It won't generate the
Yes,
same
sir.
function module name in test system.
Yes,
If you
sir.
call this function module in your program and when you transport that to the test system, when you try to execute the program, is your program is going to work?
No, sir.
Because this function module name is not
Change.
available in test system. In test
Sir.
system, a new function module name will be generated.
Yes, sir.
When you transported it to production, there it generates a
Neutral.
new function module. That's why never call SmartForm or Adobe
Direct
Form function module directly in the program to trigger
function.
the
Yes, sir.
print output. For that, what we need to use? SSF
SSI function module name.
name. This is also a function module. What it will
Yes,
do?
sir. It
It
will.
will accept smart form name or Adobe form name as input and returns the corresponding function module name
No.
as output, right?
Okay, sir.
So we are going to call the function module name, which is returned by this SSF function module name, right? So this function module, SSF function module, will dynamically read function module generated for that form, right? So
Sir.
whenever we execute that in test or production, we are going to execute that corresponding function module which is generated in test or
Yes.
production, so that we should not hard code the function module which is generated in a development system. We should always use a SSF function module name. That is
SS
very
function
important
module.
interview question. How to
Yes, sir.
call smart forms or Adobe forms in
Function.
your driver program, right? If it is a standard application, we configure it in NAC transaction
NACE.
code as output type. If it is a custom application, we are going to call that Adobe form or smart form, that smart form using SSF function module name,
SSS
and
function
they'll
module
ask
name.
you why we need to use that function module. Then what you need to explain?
When we transport
Smart
it
form will
to.
automatically generate a function module. So we need to call the function module to trigger the print layout. But when we transported it to test system, it will generate a different function module name. So that driver program is not going to work. For that reason, first we need to call SSF function module name, and we need to call the function module whatever returned by SSF function module name, right?
Sir. Sir.
This is how we are going to call the smart form in our programs, right? Just like how you call ALV report function module, right? Here we are going to call smart form function module, and we need to pass the importing parameters with some work area or internal table data. Okay, clear?
Sir.
So that is about calling the smart form in your program. First, before calling, first we need to design the layout, right?
Yes, sir.
What is the transaction code to design the print layout? Smart forms. For Adobe Forms, we have different decode. Let's confine to smart forms now. So what is the transaction code to design the print layout? Smart forms.
Smartphone.
So when you are designing the layout, we have different windows. For example, let's take this. This is for address. This is for logo. This is to print the main data, that is transactions data. That might be purchase order items, sales order items, or customer wise transaction codes. All the sales orders created for a customer, we are going to display here. We don't know, right, what is the exact count, right? For one customer, there might be 100 sales orders. For a different customers, we might have only 10 sales orders, right?
Sir.
If you have 10 sales orders, each sales orders might have one item or more than three or four items also, right?
Yes, sir.
So depends on the data, we can be
You
able to
designing.
print the entire data in single page, or one page is not enough in some cases. And at that time, what it should, how it should work, it should automatically print the rest of the details in a second
Next
page,
page.
right?
Yes, sir.
Like that sales order transactions, right? So for that, to handle such requirements, we use windows in smartphone. We have different types of windows. So the window which should automatically expand or which should automatically flow to the second page, third page, fourth page. So such kind of window, what do we call?
Main
Main
window.
window. So whatever the data, you need to automatically flow to the next place. Depends on the content, right?
Yes, sir.
Where in which window you need to keep that?
Main window.
In main window, you have to keep that data, right?
Yes, sir.
Secondary window is a fixed width window. Secondary window is a
Fixed with
Fixed
window.
width window, where you can display some logo, because logo size is always same. Address,
Yes, sir.
where you need like this is static width, size is static, it won't expand automatically, right? Fixed width window, that is secondary window. If you populate additional data, what will happen? It will truncate the additional data, right?
Yes, sir.
That
So,
is secondary window. And we have final window. When we use final window, for example, you are displaying some transactions, right? After displaying the transactions, once all the transactions are populated, so you need to make some calculations on the transaction codes like subtotals or grand totals. Such kind of requirements, once all the windows are processed, all the data in the rest of the windows like secondary window, main window are processed, then only you need to trigger the next level logic. So such kind of
yes,
logic
sir.
in which window you need to place?
Final
Final.
In
window.
final window. There is a typo. So in final window, right?
Yes, sir.
And let's see copies window. What is the use of copies window? So whenever we apply for something, right? Sometimes you might observe we prepare one original copy as application and we prepare some copies, right?
Yes, sir.
Copy to officer 1, copy to officer 2, copy to officer 3, right? And the original copy we send to someone, some officer A, right? And we need to mention which one is original copy and which one is a duplicate copy
Copy.
of that original. So we should maintain that data on the print layout in that printout, all right? When you are going to copy it to multiple persons, right? So how you can handle that? How you can print multiple copies of the same print layout? By using copies
Copy
window.
window.
There we mention as original copy in the one printout, and the rest of the copies will contain copy, right?
Yes, sir.
Such kind of requirements we use copies window to print the multiple copies, right?
Sir.
So these are the four windows in smart forms. It is also an important interview question. So you can check online about more content about this main window, secondary window, final window, and copies window,
Office.
Copy. Okay, sir.
right?
Yes, sir.
Now we are discussed about logos, right? We print logos in smart forms, right? Somewhere.
Yes, sir.
So how can you print logos to like to access the logo or to print the logo in smart forms or Adobe Forms or in SAP Scripts? What is prerequisite? That logo should be available in SC78. SC78, that logo should be already available, uploaded and available. Then only we can use that logo in smart forms. Go to SC78. Where can you upload the logo? Administration,
SC70.
form graphics, administration of form graphics. Forms nothing but print layouts, right? So the logo which you need to use, that should be first you need to upload in SC78 as bitmap image,
SC70.
BMap or bitmap image. Okay, double click to find the existing images. Open SC78, go to bitmap image, click on this. If you want to search for black and white or color, I'm selecting both and click on check, execute. So it will display all existing logos, right? Let's take this logo. There is some preview, print preview. So this is the logo which is uploaded here, right? Let me find more logos. No, no black and white logos are available, it seems. Sorry, color bitmaps are not available. We can upload one. Let me open it again. C78. Go to bitmap. F4. This is the logo. Click enter or click print preview. So this is one logo available, right?
Yes,
So you can use these logos in SmartForms or Adobe Forms in SAP Scripts. Prerequisite is that logo should be available in SC78. For Adobe Forms, this is not mandatory. You can upload in Adobe Form itself. Okay.
okay, sir.
So this is how you can check the existing logos. Let's try to upload one logo in SC78. Let me save as bitmap
BMP.
image.
Yes, sir.
Now go to SC78 and then click on this. Select the bitmap image and click on this. What I'm doing here, I'm uploading a new logo. Select the file.
Yes, sir.
Select your logo. I think I saved it on
Desktop.
desktop. Select it.
Yes, sir.
Provide the logo name.
Mine. Setting.
Okay. Provide the description.
Yes, sir.
Color bitmap image. Continue. Hello. So your bitmap is uploaded to SC78. Right? Now this logo can be used in scripts
Used to.
or in SmartForms
Hello.
or Adobe Forms also. Right?
Yes, sir.
Usually we don't upload the logos because someone will add those logos to the SC78. We are going to just use it. If there is no logo available, then we need to work with someone and get the logo because we cannot design the company logos, right?
Yes, sir.
They'll provide the logo which we need to use. Okay.
Okay,
They'll
sir.
provide some file, bitmap file, then we can upload it into SC78 and we can use it. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So it is also important interview question. How to display logos in smart forms, right? So the answer is first we need to upload the logo in SC78 if it is not available,
Not available.
or if the logo is already available, we have to select it, find the logo in SC78 and use the name in smart form. Okay.
Yes, sir.
The very important interview questions from print layouts, particularly from smart forms, are difference from scripts and smart forms, right? And how to call smart form or Adobe form in a
Um,
driver program, that is using
SO,
SSF function module name.
SSF function
We
module
cannot
name.
we cannot directly call the smart form function module, and you have to explain the reason why we cannot directly call the smart form function module in driver program, right? Because of the different names it is going to generate in development, test, and production environments, right? The
Yes, sir.
different types
So,
of windows: main window, secondary window, final window,
Fire window.
context window,
obviously.
right?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yeah. So that is about smart forms. So what is the main important difference between script and smart forms? Scripts are
It
client
is
dependent,
client,
smart forms are client independent.
client
Scripts
independent.
cannot display color text, smart forms can display
Yeah,
color
fixed
text.
in.
Scripts cannot print the background images, smart forms can print the background
Yes,
images, right?
sir.
And no tabular display in scripts. We can display data in tabular format in
Development
smart forms.
smartphones.
Main window is required for scripts. Main window is optional for smart forms. You
Yes,
can
sir.
create even without a main window.
Without name.
Smart forms can be created without a main window. You can use all secondary windows. Okay, when you have only fixed width data, right? No use of main window, correct? For example, if you take your some maybe some appointment letter for every employee, appointment letter will be, for example, let's say it's in single page only, right? Only names will be different, but layout will be only in single page. The content, whatever the content in the appointment letter, that content fits into only single page. Then we don't have main window, right? We don't need to use main window, right? At that time, we go for secondary windows. And next thing is Adobe Forms. What is the difference between Smart Forms and Adobe Forms? The main important difference is Adobe Forms will generate PDF output, but Smart Forms cannot directly generate the PDF output. We have to convert the Smart Form into
PDF
PDF
form. Yes, sir.
explicitly. But Adobe Forms will directly generate the PDF output. That
PDF
is
form.
first difference. The other difference is Smart Forms are not interactive forms. Interactive means once you generated the print layout, if you click on something, like it won't accept anything to enter the data in Smart Forms, right? But in Adobe Forms, even after generating the print layout, right, you can enter the data in some input fields. That's called interactive forms.
Yes,
Adobe
sir.
Forms are interactive. Smart Forms are not interactive, right? And also, Adobe Forms are more user friendly, like developer friendly than Smart Forms. Easy to generate the layout. We are having many drag and drop options, okay, for designing the print layout. Okay, what is the transaction code
Yes,
for
sir.
Adobe Form? SFP.
SFP.
SFP is the transaction code for Adobe Forms. SFP. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So creating Adobe Form is different than Smart Forms. In Smart Forms, we generate only one object, that is Smart Form name. But here in Adobe Form, we generate two objects. One is Adobe Form
Form
interface,
interface.
Adobe Form layout. But in Smart Form, both are in
Function
same
module.
object.
Okay.
Both
Yes,
form
sir.
interface and form layout, both are combined in single. But here it is separated.
Separately.
Interface is separated from
Yeah.
form layout. Layout,
Yes, sir.
what do we implement in interface? Form interface. In form interface, we write ABAP code if required, like data declarations, right?
Yes, sir.
Data selection or data declarations we do in form interface, and form designing, layout designing we do in form layout, right?
Form layouts.
So first we need to create the interface and we need to create the form layout for that form interface. Okay, and we bind form interface objects to form layout elements. Okay, but to create Adobe Forms, we need to have a mandatory software. What is that? Adobe Lifecycle Designer. This is the software which is required to create or to design the Adobe Form layout. Without that, we cannot create Adobe Forms. Clear?
Yes, sir.
If you need to work on the Adobe Form, you need to have a mandatory software, that is Adobe Lifecycle Designer, in your system. Okay?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
And how to call the Adobe Form in driver program? As I said, if it is a standard application, you need to configure this Adobe Form to the standard
NACA.
application, where you need to configure in
NACA.
NAC transaction code as a output
Trans.
type,
Yes,
right?
sir.
If you need to call it in the custom program,
Custom.
custom driver program, you cannot directly call Adobe Form function module. So
Sir.
Adobe Form will also generate one function module
Function
automatically,
modules.
right? But
Yes, sir.
we should not call that function module directly in the driver program because of the dependency. Because if you release this Adobe Form to the test system, it will generate a different function module name, right?
Relations.
If you
Yes,
directly
sir.
call the function module in test system, your program is not going to work. That's why we use a function module, fp underscore function module underscore name. What is the input for this function module? fp function module name. What is the input?
Adobe
Adobe Form name. Adobe Form name is the input. What it will return? The
function
function
module.
module
It will.
generated or available for that Adobe Form.
Yes,
So we are
sir.
going to call that function module which is returned by this fm, right?
Sir.
Usually we use this flow to call the Adobe Form. First we call the open job function module, fp open job function module. Then we call fp function module name.
FT function module
Then
name.
we call that function module which is returned by fp function module name and pass the importing parameters which we need, the data which we need to display in the Adobe Form, and close the job.
Yes,
This is the
sir.
sequence. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So this is about print layouts, the basic details of the print layouts. In the next session, we'll create print layouts. Okay. By using
Okay, sir.
SmartForms and Adobe Forms.
Adobe
For Adobe
Forms.
Forms, we need to have this software.
Adobe
We need to
cycle.
check whether that is available in our current server or not. If not, we have to
Okay.
request them to install this Adobe Lifecycle Designer software. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So tomorrow we'll start with smart forms. Okay. Creating
Okay, sir.
print layouts using smart forms and how to call the smart forms. Okay.
Yes, sir. Got it, sir.
In the interview point of view also, these are very important. At least you'll get two questions from print layouts.
Smartphones. Okay, sir.
So whatever the explanation I have given, if you are good in it, you can definitely answer at least two questions. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, then we'll continue in the next session.
Yes, sir.